Hey, what is going on, guys? So today we're checking out the Greenleaf Studios, Resident Evil Ada Wong statues. So as you can see, I have both versions of the character, and yeah, I just thought I would do a quick comparison review for you guys. So yeah, let's take a look at what we have here. So as you can see, we have the very first release of the statue. So this is the GLS006. And over here we have the second release, which is the GLS007. And as you can see in the middle here, I have the very first statue which I ever picked up from Greenleaf Studios. So this is the Claire Redfield, which is a very, very nice piece. But with that being said, thank you guys for checking out the review. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into the video. Alright, stay tuned, guys.
Take it slow.
Okay, so first up, let's take a quick look at the packaging. So as you can see, the packaging is pretty much the exact same on both of the statues. So we have a super nice photo of the actual statue itself. And this is Zombie Crisis Huntress AD, which is pretty much the exact same on the other box. And here at the top we have the Greenleaf Studios logo. So the only difference that I can see is pretty much on the side. So we have, this one is the GLS006 and this one is the GLS007. And just in case you guys want to check out the back, so once again it's pretty much the exact same. So we just have a nice photo of the statue itself and we have the credits on the making of the figure. And it's pretty much the same on the other box. Okay, so let's take a look at the statues. So now I think the best thing to do is to line up the statues completely parallel, so that you guys can see the differences on both of the statues. So now I'm just going to say right off the bat that there's not a big difference between the two. So the main difference is that on the first version, which is the GLS006, the dress piece is completely made out of fabric, and there's also a metal wire inside the frame, so you can pose it any which way you want and it will hold that position. And of course we have the second release, which is the GLS007. So the statue is completely made out of resin, including the dress piece. So yeah, that is pretty much the only difference between these two statues. So I also just want to mention that the first release is super limited. Down here we have the little card of authenticity, and as you can see I got number 99 out of, I think it was something like 200. So yeah, this is a very limited piece, whereas the second release, it's actually quite a large number. So I got number 480 out of 680. So yeah, this is actually a pretty large edition size. Okay, and so let's take a closer look. So let's begin with the head sculpts. So as you can see, we have the very first release and we have the second. So as I mentioned before, I mean, the statues are pretty similar. There's really not too much of a difference between the two. But yeah, anyhow, let's take a closer look here. So as you can see, the head sculpt is super nice. I mean, this is gonna be like one of the best head sculpts I've ever seen for any resin statue out there. You can see the eyes are painted a very light brown, and you can even make out the eyelashes and the eyebrows painted in there. I also quite like how they sculpted the nose and the mouth. It's a very crisp and clean sculpt. Now as for the paint job, so I think the paint job is slightly different. As you can see on the first release, the skin tone is painted a lot more pale. It looks a lot brighter, whereas the skin tone on the second version, you can see it's a lot more red. It's it's a little bit darker, but it is very minor, so I wouldn't say it's a massive difference, but I just thought I should point it out. So the sniper is such a nice piece. I love what they've done here. So the sniper is a separate piece, so you have to insert it into her hands manually, but it is pretty straightforward, so I don't think you should have too much of an issue. But anyhow, let's check out some of the details. So here we have the scope piece. So as you can see, the lens actually has some like reflective material, so it gives off a nice reflection in the light, as you guys can see, which I just absolutely love. And same goes for the sniper on the version 2. I think they're pretty much the exact same. I don't see any differences whatsoever. And so moving down here to the dress piece, and as you guys can see, we have all these super nice designs and patterns which go all the way down here. It's a pretty nice design, it looks pretty elegant. But as you guys can see on the version 2, which is completely made out of resin, we don't have any patterns whatsoever. So I guess that's a pretty big difference. And as you guys can see, we have all these folds and creases sculpted into the resin, which we don't have on the fabric dress piece. So yeah, the bases are both pretty much the exact same. There's really no difference here whatsoever. But yeah, as you guys can see, we have this piece of metal, like, I really don't know what it is, some type of broken metal from a building. But yeah, it's quite nicely detailed. You can see we have all these rust details along the sides of this metal, and we have all these like nuts and bolts at the side here. It's really quite amazing. It's also got quite a nice texture, and of course it's the exact same for the other statue. Down here we have this piece of concrete which the foot pegs into. There's a peg on the base of the foot which pegs into this large base. But as you can see, the peg didn't go all that way into the base, and the same goes for the other statue. It's probably worse on the version 2. So yeah, I really don't know why the peg didn't go into the base, but I don't want to force it in there because I just don't want to break the statue. But yeah, the statue still stands fine. There's also another metal peg inside this foot which pegs into this piece of metal, which same goes for the other statue. So this peg fits in pretty well. As you can see, you can't really see the peg in there. The main issue is the peg on the main display base. So I guess that's one issue with the statue. But anyhow, here's a look at the rest of the base. So we have like all this dirt, all this mud and gravel, which once again, very nicely sculpted, and it looks pretty realistic. So here's the front of the statue, and I love this angle so much. I mean, as I mentioned before on my previous review, this is such a photogenic piece, just any angle that you look at it from. It just looks amazing, which is why I love the statue so much. Just anywhere you look on the statue is just incredible detail. And yeah, this has got to be like one of my favorite statues that I've ever picked up. And so this is the other side of the statue. And let me just give you guys a close-up on this amazingly sculpted hairpiece. And as you can see, we have all these super nice strands of hair, so intricately sculpted in there. The hairpiece also gives off a very matte finish, which I think works very well for this piece, and it's pretty much the exact same on the other version. And moving down here to the arms, holding the sniper piece. So here's a better look at the sniper from this side. We have like all these dials and whatnot. Such amazing detail. And the other sniper right here. Very, very nice. So as you can see, we have this black band, like this black piece of fabric. So the statue is made up of several different pieces. So we have the head sculpt, the two arms, and the sniper rifle. And yeah, these black pieces of fabric really help to hide the seam line. So I think that was a super efficient way, because otherwise there would be a clear cut line. So I just think Greenleaf Studios did a super nice job. But anyhow, here's a better look at both of the sniper rifles. Even like the fingernails, as you can see, are painted pink, which I thought was such a nice detail. And here we have the hand with the trigger finger discipline, which is also a pretty nice detail. And here we have the barrel of the sniper. So moving down here to the body piece, as you can see, the bodies look a lot different in terms of the dress piece. So yeah, you can see like all the sculpting in the resin, like all these kind of folds and creases, and even the seam line. It looks really, really nice. Whereas on the piece of fabric, it looks a lot different. As you can see, it doesn't really have any folds and creases. And of course we have the patterns. This here front piece of the dress also runs down between her legs, whereas this piece kind of goes over her leg. So yeah, I guess that is a pretty big difference, depending on which one you guys prefer. And down here we have this holster, which has the pistol. So yeah, this is sculpted directly onto the statue, so you cannot take it out. But I mean, it looks pretty good. You can see the detailing on the pistol and the holster. And these are pieces of fabric, like the straps. They're actually made of real fabric, which I thought was a really, really nice detail. And same goes for the other pistol and holster on the version 1. Anyhow, as for the base, once again, the bases are the same. We have this piece of metal, like this broken piece of metal with all this rust detail. And we have the piece of concrete with the road. And we even have like some blood here, like dried up blood. Looks really, really cool. and on the version 1. And down here we have all this like dirt, all the gravel and mud. So let me just give you guys a close-up here so you can appreciate all the detailing. It's just, you know, top-notch detailing. And so last up, we have the statues from the back. So I guess this is a pretty nice comparison on the fabric dress piece and the resin dress. I personally like the fabric dress a lot better. I just think it looks a bit higher quality, and I love all the patterns here which run along the sides of the dress piece. But I mean, the resin dress is also pretty nice. It just doesn't have the pattern, and it's kind of painted like one solid color, like this deep red. So as you can see, this here black collar piece around her neck is made of real fabric, and it goes all the way down here. Also, these here strings at the back of the dress piece are made of real string, and yeah, you do have to insert the dress piece onto the statue manually, and it is pretty difficult, so yeah, we just watch out for that. But as you can see, the strings also go all the way down here, all the way down to the base, so yeah, it's a pretty long string piece. Whereas the dress piece on the resin version, as you can see, the strings are just sculpted in there, and it doesn't really look that great. It kind of looks a bit messy. I don't really like this. But as for the collar piece, it is also made out of fabric. And so here's a look at all of these Resident Evil pieces made by Greenleaf Studios. So yeah, I mean, they've done such a fantastic job. Here we have the first version, the GLS006, which is probably my favorite statue out of the 3. And here we have the first statue which I picked up from Greenleaf Studios. So this is a Claire Redfield's. And I mean, this is such an amazing piece as well. I love the head sculpts. I just love the pose. Everything about this piece is amazing. And of course we have the second release, the GLS007. I mean, check out that amazing face. I mean, this is such a realistic head sculpt. The eyes are super lifelike, and I would say this piece is almost better than the Ada Wong. But I mean, both statues are equally just as nice as one another. So, you know, I'm just very happy to have these, and I also really hope that they make more. I would absolutely love if they made a Lady Dimitrescu statue. I think that would be so amazing to see, and I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that Greenleaf Studios make a lot more Resident Evil statues. So yeah guys, that was a quick comparison on these Ada Wong statues made by Greenleaf Studios. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope this video was helpful in deciding which one to pick up. I mean, they're both fantastic statues, and I would recommend any one from this table. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will have a lot more videos on the way, so be sure to ring that bell notification so you guys don't miss out on these videos. And yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, stay safe, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Alright, take it easy guys.